Fathers are 4 times as likely to abandon their children than mothers, and that's statistically proven right here.
You didn't even debunk this stat. So listen, you don't even know what you did. You even read it there? Stop it! No, because you're speaking nonsense right now. I do debates, and this is what I do. Stop it! Stop speaking, or I will kick you off my show. Listen.
Okay, you have a habit, which you've shown multiple times, to cut that person off. But
well,
then when
it's
you're
my
speaking,
show.
right, at the end of the day, you set the tone.
Listen, you got 6 women in front of you, okay? Majority of us are single mothers. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say things.
I think that an emotional response is that if you try to cut me off, I'm going to kick you off my show. That's an emotional response.
No, you know what that is? That's called authority. You don't know how to respect men. You got the rules before the show, and you still speaking while I'm speaking and cutting me off. This nigga gave me the rules, and you still talking, and you still don't understand.
And when he sets ass leadership and expects
so that's good leadership. I'll show you good leadership. Get off my show. You out of here.
You're a little boy, and you don't like to
listen. Get your stuff and get up out of here.
Person that's inflicting that in the domestic violence cases.
Okay, so look at this.
Right?
No,
and that's
so
emotion.
You're saying all of these points, I'm going to refute them all. Listen to this.
Okay.
So one, we already know that single father households, listen here, clear. We already know that single father households do just as good as 2-parent households. But single mother households do worse than single father households and worse than 2-parent households. Oh, wow. And when we're speaking about worse, we're speaking about the disciplinarian within that household, meaning that which household breeds degeneracy. Single mother households, listen clear.
Go ahead.
Statistics shows that single mother households breeds juvenile delinquents. Most of the women that's on a stripper pole and on OnlyFans, they come from single mother homes. Most of these emotional men in prison come from single mother homes.
And statistics also show that men are 3 times as likely to abandon a child.
I'm still debunking everything you said. I'm going to get to that too.
Emotions are rising.
Statistic also shows that even when you're looking at things like, say if you look at domestic violence, right? So you know what? We have a chart that we're gonna bring up. I'm gonna send it to you, Ease, because she's speaking about domestic violence. So we're gonna debunk what you just said right now about domestic violence.
I also feel like there's a huge difference between discipline and abuse.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Big
like
difference.
Different perspective. I have boys, they play sports. They have coaches, male coaches. If they're on the football field and their coach gives them a specific instruction and they go over this 4 or 5 times and they kind of run over the coach and the coach is like, come on, I told you to do this the right way. And they
the helmet.
I don't consider.
Oh, you think that's okay? But just a minute ago, if it's too physical, come on, man.
For that abuse, like it's like, hey, snap out of it, pay attention, listen, trying to redirect. I don't always think that just because, I'm not going to look at my son's football coach and say, oh, he kind of smacked him upside the helmet because he's goofing off or being a distraction or just blatantly not following directions. I don't consider that abuse. No. I also wouldn't. So
Shawty with the paint on like a demon. I think it's time for her to go home.
If it's okay for the football coach to kind of pop the son,
and he don't do nothing for him.
I just feel like
and now don't get me wrong, I think
it's kind of really like harsh, and I think that it's not going to be tolerated in my household. And that's just how I feel.
And
I'm not going to continue talking about this moving forward. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you, like, both of y'all and him, because that's the only, you two, like, that's not happening in my household. That could happen in your household. Your new boyfriend could smack the out of your son or your daughter or your son.
But the thing is that when he say smack the like I'm not looking at the actual part where there's the physical. I'm looking at the aspect of the discipline. Like I'm looking at it from a bigger.
Real quick, I just have something up here as a graph. Put the camera on me. So here's a graph right here.
I'm not focusing on the hit.
Got it, ladies. Pay attention. So here's a graph right here, and you can view it here. It says women often are aggressors when it comes to domestic violence. That is true. So if you go ahead and read this graph here,
2001.
Yeah, well, studies are done. What are you talking about? These studies.
What's the source on this?
Very long for studies to get done.
But that's only one
source. And the sources is all there. So real quick, let me go ahead and break down the graph. All of you.
You give them something, they just gonna find something discredited. 2001, And I think, and it's another thing, says 2007. So, but these studies take a while to where they get all the data from the CDC or whatnot. But I guarantee you this has not changed. It has changed. Women has definitely gone up in violence for sure when it comes down to being in a relationship with a man.
You ladies are speaking right now. What's the source and all of this? I'll go ahead and send it to you after the show. But listen, if you go ahead and look at this right here, it shows that women, when it comes to initiating domestic violence, women are the ones that are actually the aggressors when it comes to initiating domestic violence.
That's a fact.
That's the difference there. And also, when it comes to domestic violence, men really don't report it that much as well. We're less likely to report it because it's a freaking
They
chick.
like it.
It's not to say that niggas like it and also still be on the camera as well. It's not to say that men like it. It's to say that men just don't report it because it's a woman. Where our emotions aren't that involved. Your hits don't really affect us like that anyway. It's nothing crazy. You get what I'm
Credible source and it's still inaccurate.
then also
in
bring
a
up
two-
others
in a
against
2000
what
in
you're
a
saying.
2001 women.
No, but I'm saying
Is this
search
a woman
for other
bashing? Is this a woman bashing
statistics too.
podcast? 'Cause I don't want to be a part
Search
of
for
it.
the opposite of that as
What?
well. You're gonna find the equal
If we're gonna
amount.
bash
Hold
women
on.
and single
And
mothers,
I just wanted to
then
bring up,
trying
since we're
to
talking about statistics and you talked about the single father household to the single mother household, let's take account that fathers are 4 times as likely to abandon their children than mothers. And that's statistically proven right here. We're not talking about abuse. My sentence is, from start to finish, fathers are 4 times more likely to abandon their children.
And do you
in
know
their
why?
house.
I was gonna say that possibly might be true, but it's usually because they have post-nut clarity, and the woman that they had a kid with, they're not happy anymore. I'm just being honest. Like I said, guys, there is a lot of. That's why I think they implemented the child support system to mitigate that risk, but it still boils down to who the woman chooses. You choose the bad boy who doesn't want a family or doesn't want a relationship, he will run off on the child. So that probably is the case, but you got women effing certain types of guys who don't want families or kids.
Because they lack integrity and they lack responsibility.
And
They
do you
lack
know,
the
I
things
know where
they
that
need.
statistic comes from. And if you look at it, the reason why it shows that fathers are 4 times more likely to abandon, what they call abandon, right? Because most women, well, one, let's just give the stats. 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So these are women that are leaving these men. These are women that they want to become a single mother. So these are women initiating and breaking up the relationship. And then most of the time, these women, they would go for full custody. They put the man on child support. And the man is like, I can't see my child barely, and I got to pay this money. Forget it. I'm not even going to be around. So those stats show that as well. That's included in that. So that's not a genuine stat when we're speaking about abandonment. Abandoned, people think like the man is actually just leaving the woman, leaving him.
I disagree.
Leaving him. This is a
and what's
lie.
also not genuine
Men aren't leaving their kids. It's the man that is it's the woman that's leaving the man and then trying to.
I think when we get involved with marriage, men don't leave because it's cheaper to keep her. But in just regular relationships, with, like I said, certain types of guys, not all, majority of guys don't even get the opportunity to even get in a long-term relationship. Those guys wouldn't leave. But we talking about the bad boys, the guys who can get multiple women. Those guys will leave.
Get resources from the man. So what
And
you're
those
saying
stats
is just
that you
nonsense.
posted weren't accurate either because men
Okay,
are less
debunk the
likely.
stats.
Men are less likely to report abuse than women are, right? Because as we can see, there are a lot more, and this may be fair or not fair. I'm not in charge of these programs, but there are a lot more programs that are for protecting women and children from abuse than there are protecting men from abuse, right?
You didn't even
But-
debunk the stats. So listen,
Hold on,
you don't even know what
you
you
cut
did.
me
You
off.
even
Hold
read
on.
it there. Stop it.
You
Stop
cut
it.
me
No, because you're
we all
speaking
wanna hear
nonsense right now. And
everybody,
also,
but
ease.
you wanna
Remember to
hear
get it
what
on
you're
both.
saying and what I'm saying,
Yeah,
and
I
we
got
want to
it.
give
But
each
just
other
listen.
the equal
But we
respect
no,
for me to
the
finish
equal
my
respect
sentence,
is
right?
when you are
So
making
now,
a statement. Listen,
what I'm
I do
debunking
debates,
is
and this
that
is what I
you
do. Stop it.
didn't
Stop
have-
speaking, or I will kick you off my show. Listen.
Okay.
Still man the position, don't straw man the position. Listen, still manning it, meaning that I'll let you speak, but still man it. Be genuine. Repeat exactly what I said. When we're speaking about the stats, say exactly what it presented. You're going off on a tangent. The stats show specifically on who initiates. Who initiates.
Yeah.
It didn't say anything else. So this is provable. It's a study done. Who initiates? Who are the one that initiates? And women are the one that actually are in these statistics. They say, well, yeah, I initiated it. But guess what? The man in court, he still is found guilty, even though, because the courts are favored, women are favored in the courts. So
true.
even when the woman would initiate the abuse, meaning hit the man first, that man hits that woman first. She's the one that goes, that man go ahead and retaliates and hits her back. She calls the police. He goes to jail.
Yes.
This stat then goes on domestic violence 1. But the stat that doesn't go on it is who initiated it. What goes on it, who initiated it, if the woman is honest, where these reports come from, because some of these women are honest and the men are honest, it correlates. The woman say, yes, I initiated. The man would say, yes, she did initiate it, but she doesn't experience any consequences, any negative consequences for putting her hands on a man.
That has been going on for years. I think as we get in more recent times, it's been getting documented. We have more better recording devices, whether it be audio or video, and people are starting to be aware of it now. Opposed to before, it's automatically we put the man at fault. But I think people are just waking up, or at least guys are, to see that, hey, women can be devious creatures as well. And it's not only the guy doing violent acts, it's women that initiate a lot of the times, whether it be going through his phone, whether it be him lying or she catching them, and then stir up the chaos. Women love drama and emotions or whatnot. So let's say you got a guy who is doing dirt. He's probably trying to hide it, keep it behind the scenes. But once the woman finds out, it's gonna blow up. Already initiated point at that point.
The man experiences the negative consequences, and then we got women like this chick on a podcast talking about abuse and all of this stuff. These men are 4 times more likely to do all of these things, to abandon a child, to hit the woman. This is just false. You're lying on this podcast. You're lying.
I feel like this podcast, I'm sorry, are you listening to understand,
I am.
or are you listening just to respond?
No, to understand.
Because a lot of times when somebody's speaking, you have a habit, which you've shown multiple times, to cut that person off. But then when
it's
you're
my
speaking,
show. I'm
but
gotta run it.
due respect, right? Because at the end of the day, you set the tone.
I ain't gonna lie, Fat Cardi need to show some respect doing her lipstick like that up in the camera, all right?
And when you set the tone of cutting a person off when they're speaking, but you want them to respect when you're speaking, that's not
No,
how it
I
works.
didn't
You
say
lead
that.
by
I said that
example.
you were.
You
I said
lead by
that.
example.
What'd you say, East?
I know the rules about that, so you may have to cut you off, but we'll always give you back.
Yeah, and once again, Ease is speaking right now in the back, and Ease told you. He told you specifically the rules of the podcast. Cooley would have to cut you off at certain times. And the reason why I'm cutting you off is because what you did was you straw man my position, meaning that you didn't repeat my position back accurately. You went off on a tangent and moved the goalpost to something else. I was speaking about women being the aggressors when it comes to initiating. How can abuse even start in a relationship if someone doesn't initiate it? So women are the cause of getting their butt whooped. That's what I'm saying. Generally speaking, women are the cause. You hit the man first, the man retaliates. Now, I'm not saying that it's good. I think that these niggas should get locked up. I don't condone men abusing women, so don't look at
You
Cooley
sound
like
passionate, like
No,
you want to bash women this whole time.
Yo,
like
chat, look how
you
many
got
red flags
six,
I got.
you got 6 women in front of you.
He's been bashing.
Listen, you got 6
yours.
women in front of you. Okay, majority of us are
This one
single
mine too?
mothers. So sometimes it's not what you
Oh,
say; it's how you say things. You understand? I understand that this is your podcast. You want to get your point across for the viewers. We want to go viral for the reels and everything.
Nah.
but we single mothers. You understand?
So
Wait,
Let's
who's a
be
single mother?
respectful.
I feel like you're not
You're not a
general.
you need to listen and understand and stop responding with your emotions. It doesn't matter if all y'all single mothers, it's about how you say it. Listen to understand and not to respond.
Mother, you're in a relationship.
Yeah, but I'm saying majority of us are. And
I
we're
feel like you're not generalizing.
Yeah,
You're
just
speaking,
be kind,
You're
be
speaking
kind.
on a behalf
You
of
know?
a man.
Wait, time
but
out.
there
And
could
be
also
respectful.
be
Ladies, how?
the equal.
I'm not speaking about you. This conversation that we're currently
I know.
having
It's
right
not
here
personalized.
is
It's-
not
Of
even
course.
personalized.
No,
it's
it's not.
generalized, and we're speaking about
Right.
stats. The thing is, you ladies are emotional.
No.
This is why you should be dissing.
I
Wanting
just think your
someone
stats,
to
your
prove my
stats,
point.
when you're
no, but your
speaking is not
stats,
being
it's
emotional.
on
I
a
think
very
that an
small
emotional
spectrum.
response-
If
Hold
you
up, y'all
were
speaking
to,
at the same time. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I think that an emotional response is that if you try to cut me off, I'm going to kick you off my show. That's an emotional response.
No,
and anger.
you know what that is? That's called.
That's you
You know what
saying
that is?
oh, this
Nah.
is my platform, so
I'm
I
putting it
have the
down. That's it, right?
control.
You know what that is?
I have the
Boundaries.
control
That's called
to do
authority. You don't know how to
So you're
respect
abusing
men.
it.
You don't know how to. That's not abusing authority.
It is
You don't.
abusing.
You got the rules before the show. You got the rules before the
Right.
show, and you still speaking while I'm speaking and cutting me off. You don't respect male's authority. This is what that shows.
When they said
This
that
nigga
authority,
gave
I
you the
do.
rules, and you still talking, and you can't get
Yes,
it.
I
You
know.
don't understand.
I respect
And
when
you
a man
still don't
sets good
understand.
leadership, and when he sets ass leadership and expects
Oh,
me
so
to
that's good
respect
leadership?
it,
I'll show you good leadership. Get off my show. You out of here. Walk her out. You done. Get up out of here.
How can she say shitty leadership when it's like you got the rules prior? I would say that's good leadership. You just trigger and you mad at the responses that you've been getting being a single mom and listening and going through all these stats or whatnot. She just triggered at this point.
hold you
I'll
accountable.
show
I don't
you
give a fuck
leadership.
if it's your show.
I'll show you leadership.
And I'm
A real
still gonna
nigga will
hold you
kick you
accountable.
off his show.
And
Get
I
up
don't
out of
care.
here.
I don't give a
Get
fuck.
up out of here.
I'm gonna hold you accountable whether you ask me to leave the show or not. It's the point
Go ahead.
that you're
Hold
a
me
little
accountable
ass
for
boy.
what?
Your charger.
You're a little ass boy and you don't like to be
Listen,
held
get your
accountable.
stuff and
so
get up
when
outta
he's
here.
held accountable, he
Ain't no
wants to say,
accountable.
"Get
I'm
off my
holding you
show."
accountable
You
for
don't
being
have authority.
insubordinate.
No, you don't have
I'm
authority
holding
when
you
you don't know how to
accountable.
lead and you don't
This
know
is
how to
pure
speak
authority.
with respect.
I
and
see
you
you
don't know
leaving
how to
the show,
listen
right?
to understand.
I
don't
see you
give a
leaving,
fuck.
right?
You see I'm leaving, right?
Yeah, you
because I don't
leaving.
give a fuck.
This is authority.
Guess what? You also showed
See your
your
way
lack
out.
of maturity.
Nah, see your way out.
Wow.
Peace. Bye bye. Drive safely.
I actually
Drive safe.
I actually thought she was pretty based for real earlier on in this show. She was actually pretty based with some of her statements. I thought she was gonna be the one to actually. I thought Fat Cardi would have got kicked off before her. Fat Cardi was saying egregious things opposed to her, but you could just tell who was getting more. See, you could tell she plays that, the masculine. But what's the word I'm looking for? Passive aggressive. You could tell that she's passive aggressive with the way how she operates. Very masculine, but tries to do it in a way to present herself as I'm very educated and I know how to carry myself with a certain type of decorum. But behind the scenes, you are very aggressive. You can tell that you play word manipulation with probably in situations maybe with a guy or whatnot.
I really
You're
do. I hope you
not.
drive safe.
I feel like you're not generalizing it fully. I see how
you
you're
was.
shedding light on how men on some of your whatever you pulled up. I can't see from far, but I read it and I see that you prove your point with that. But that's just one source. I'm sure that if you were to look for the opposite of that, you would also find enough.
So it's based off of the CDC. So it's only.
I'm gonna leave it at that because it's just so much in this and they never gonna understand it, man. For her to say that you got a source, but that's one source. Do we even have to go off sources? Come on. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a source guy. I get it. Yeah, you gotta have sources, state your documents, cite your sources. But we have two eyes and we see what happens in reality. And it don't take much to understand how biology works. Like, come on, man. We got enough friends. We got enough friends of friends. We got enough family to see how situations operate and what things usually happen and what potentially might happen. Come on, it don't take all these sources to be real with what goes on in your day-to-day when it comes down to the dynamics between men and women. Like, let's just be honest with each other right here, man. I think the single mother talk triggered her or whatnot. And then when he started pulling up the facts, I believe that set her off also as well. And then to say that women aren't the initiators of violent situations is crazy because women are usually meddling to get into violent situations before trying to mitigate them. Usually guys are usually the ones that's a little bit more trying to hide things. Now, I'm not sitting right here saying that it ain't violent guys out there or guys who are very emotional. They are. But women can be very, very emotional. And the thing about it is, it's easier for a woman to mitigate the risk of being with an emotional guy opposed to the opposite. Women, you have guys courting you. You make guys wait. You put guys through hoops and hurdles. You can mitigate all that risk on getting with the wrong one. But a guy, though, usually guys take what they can get. So he's going to take that woman that has that masculine or aggressive side because he might not get nothing else. So he's going to play that game and he's going to dive into it, especially if the physical is there as well. He's going to take all them bad traits and he's going to try and change her. He's going to try and make her happy. but she's gonna run over him. So it just doesn't work for us like it works for them. They can mitigate that risk a whole lot easier. I want to get y'all thoughts on this, man. This was a lot. Cooley definitely held it down. Cooley long-winded too, man. He be talking for a while. But he does spit facts though. It's funny though, him having a single mom for a woman and then preaching against single moms. He doesn't really. I get how he does it. He doesn't preach against them. He's just talking about like what the real is as to what guys will probably look at them initially and what they actually bring. And if a guy wants to accept that, cool. But what can she do to make it better, to make that guy feel appreciated, to mitigate that risk of him possibly saying that you just a single mom with baggage? I'll make sure I link this in the description. Make sure y'all watch it in its entirety. Make sure y'all sub to the No Fugazi podcast. Make sure y'all like this video, comment below. This is your guy JayBReacts, and until next time, y'all, peace.